Hey guys, today's reading we're going to start off at Genesis 18. I read until I feel I'm done. As he sat at the door of his tent at noon, the Eternal appeared to him beside Mamre oaks. He raised his eyes, and there stood three men before him. When he saw them, he ran from the door of the tent to welcome them, and bowed to the ground, saying, "Pray, sirs, if I have found favor with you, do not pass by your servant, since you have come to your humble servant. Have a little water brought to wash your feet, then lie down under the tree till I fetch a bite of food to refresh you. After that, you can go on." "Do as you propose," they said. So Abraham hurried inside the tent and said to Sarah, "Quick, bring a bushel of meal, knead it, and make some rolls." Then Abraham ran to the herd and took a tender plump calf, which he handed to his slave, who hurried to dress it. Taking curds and milk and the veal he had dressed, he placed them before the men and stood beside them under the tree as they ate. Then he asked them, "Where is your?" Then they asked him, "Where is your wife Sarah?" "Inside the tent there," he said. "Well," said the Eternal, "I will come back to you next spring, when your wife Sarah shall have her son." Sarah was listening behind the tent door. She and Abraham were old, well in their years, and the custom of women had ceased with Sarah. So Sarah laughed to herself. "Marriage bliss for a worn old creature like me, with an old husband." The Eternal said to Abraham, "Why did Sarah laugh and ask, 'Is an old woman like me really going to bear a child?' Is anything too hard for the Eternal? Next spring I will return to you, when the time comes around and Sarah has a son." Then Sarah denied it. She said, "I did not laugh, for she was afraid." "Nay," he said, "but you did laugh." Then the men went away, gazing towards Sodom. Abraham went to escort him, and the Eternal thought, "Shall I hide from Abraham what I am going to do? See that Abraham is to become a large and powerful nation, and that all nations of this world are to seek bliss like his. I have chosen him that he may charge his sons and his household after him to follow the directions of the Eternal by doing what is good and right, so that the Eternal may fulfill for Abraham what he has promised." Then said the Eternal, "Loud is the outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah, and their sin must be heavy indeed. We will go down and see if their deeds answer to the outcry that has reached us. We would find out whether it is so." So the men turned away towards Sodom, while Abraham remained standing before the Eternal. Then Abraham went to near and said, "Wilt thou really sweep away good and bad together? Suppose there are 50 good folk in the town. Wilt thou really sweep away the place, and not forgive it for the sake of the 50 good folk in it? Far be it from thee to act like that, to slay good and bad together, letting the good fare as the bad fare. Far be that from thee. Shall not the judge of all the earth be just?" The Eternal said, "If I can find 50 good folk in the town of Sodom, I will forgive the whole place for their sake." Then Abraham went on, "Here am I venturing to speak to the Lord, yet I who am mere dust and dross. Suppose five are one and out of the 50 good folk. Wilt thou sweep away the whole town for the lack of five?" He replied, "I will not sweep away, if I can find 45 in it." Once again he asked him, "Perhaps 40 may be found in it." "I will spare it," he said, "for the sake of 40. Then he said, "Oh, let not the Lord be angry. Let me say one word. Suppose 30 are found in it." "I will spare it," he answered, "if I can find 30 there." And he said, "Here am I venturing to speak to the Lord. Suppose there are 20 found in it." "I will not sweep it away," he replied, "for the sake of the 20. Then he said, "Oh, let not the Lord be angry. Let me say one more word. Suppose 10 are to be found in it. I will not sweep it away, for the sake of the 10. The Eternal went away as soon as he ceased talking to Abraham, and Abraham went home. In the evening, two of the angels reached Sodom. Lot was sitting at the gateway of Sodom, and when Lot saw them, he rose to welcome them, bowing his face to the ground and saying, "Pray, step aside, sirs, into the house of your servant to pass the night and wash your feet. You can rise early and go on your way." "No," they said, "we will stay in an open square all night." However, as he pressed them, they turned with him and entered his house, where he made a feast for them, baking unleavened bread, of which they ate. They had not lain down to rest before all the townsmen. The inhabitants of Sodom beset the house, young and old from every quarter, shouted a lot. Where are the men who came to visit you tonight? Bring them out to us, so we may grape them. Lot went out Lot went out to them and shut the door behind him. Pray, friends, he said, be not so wicked. See, I have 2 daughters, virgins. Let me bring them out, and you can do as you please with them. But pray let these men alone. They have sheltered under my roof. Out of the way, said the crowd. The fellow settled among us as a stranger, and he would lay down the law for us. We'll treat you worse than them. So they mobbed Lot and were on the point of breaking into the house, when the men put out their hands, pulled Lot inside, and closed the door. Then they plagued the townsfolk at the door with blindness, young and old alike, till they tired themselves out with groping for the door. The men said to Lot, if you have anyone else in the place, sons-in-law, daughters, anyone belonging to you in the town, get them away, for we intend to sweep this place to ruin. The outcry against it has become loud before the Eternal, and the Eternal has sent us to sweep it away. So Lot went out and told his sons-in-law, the men who were to marry his daughters. Up and away, he said, for the Eternal is about to sweep the town to ruin. However, his sons-in-law thought he was merely jesting. When dawn appeared, the angels urged Lot, be off with your wife and your daughters who are beside you. They urged, lest you are swept away when the town is punished. He hesitated, but the men seized him and his wife and his 2 daughters by the hand. Thanks to the Eternal's pity for him, they got him away and left him outside the town. When they had got the party outside, one of them said to him, now fly for your life. Never look behind you. Stay nowhere in the basin of the plain, but fly to the hills, lest you are swept away. Oh no, sir, said Lot. Now that your servant has found favor with you, and you have shown me great mercy in saving my life, since I cannot make any escape to yonder hills, for fear that the disaster overtakes me and kills me, pray now, yonder town is near enough for my flight. It is small. Oh, let me escape to it. Is it not small? And so preserve my life. He replied, I grant this request of yours also. I will not sweep away the town of which you speak. Make haste and escape to it, for I can do nothing till you reach it. Hence the name of the town was called Zoar, or small. Zor. The sun had risen on the earth when Lot reached Zor, and then the Eternal rained sulfur and fire from heaven on Sodom and Gomorrah, sweeping away these towns and all the Jordan basin, with all the inhabitants of the towns and whatever grew on the ground. But Lot's wife looked back and became a pillar of salt. In the morning, when Abraham rose and went to the spot where he had stood before the Eternal, he looked in the direction of Sodom and Gomorrah, and there was a steam rising from the land like vapor from a furnace. So it was that when God destroyed the towns of the Jordan in the Jordan basin, God remembered Abraham and sent Lot away from the overthrow of the towns in one of which Lot resided. Lot went up from Zor and stayed in the hills, accompanied by his 2 daughters, for he was afraid to stay in Zor. So he lived with his 2 daughters in a cave. The elder said to his younger, our father is an old man, and there is not a man on earth left to marry us in the usual way. Come, let us make our father drunk, and we will lie with him, so as to preserve our race through our father. So that night they made their father drunk. Then the elder daughter went in and lay with her father, though he never knew when she lay down or when she rose. In the morning the elder daughter said to the younger, I lay with my father last night. Let us make him drunk again tonight. Then you go and lie with him, that we may preserve our race through our father. So that night again they made their father drunk, and the younger daughter got up and lay with him, although he never knew when she lay down with him and when she rose. In this way both the daughters of Lot were with child by their father. The elder bore a son, whom she called Moab, from father. He is the ancestor of the modern Moabites. The younger also bore a son, whom she called Benami, son of my father's kin. He is the ancestor of the modern Ammonites. Abraham traveled on towards Negab, staying between Kadesh and Shur, and also stopping at Gerar. He said that his wife Sarah was his sister, and so Abimelech, the king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. But God came to Abimelech in a dream by night, saying, You are a dead man, for this woman whom you have taken is a married woman. Now Abimelech had not touched her, so he said, Lord, wilt thou slay innocent folk? Did he not tell me himself, she is my sister? And she herself said, he is my brother. I did it in the simplicity and in all in simplicity and innocence. Then God said to him in the dream, I know you did it in all simplicity. It was I who kept you from committing a sin against me. For I will not let you touch her. But now restore the man's wife, for he is a prophet, and he will intercede for you, so that you may recover. If you do not restore her at once, know this, you shall die, and all yours. Next morning, Abimelech rose, summoned all his officials, and told them everything. On hearing it, the men were terrified. Then Abimelech summoned Abraham and said to him, What have I done to you? How have I sinned against you that you should involve me in my realm in a great sin? You have done to me what ought never be to be done. Abimelech added, What possessed you to do this? To do this? Because, said Abraham, I thought there was no religion here, and the people would kill me for the sake of my wife. Besides, she really is my sister, a daughter to my father only. She was not the daughter of my mother, and so she became my wife. And when God sent me wandering from my father's house, I said to her, You must do me this kindness wherever we go. Say that I am your brother. Then Abimelech made the present of sheep, oxen, and slaves, male and female, to Abraham, and restored his wife Sarah to him. There lies my land before you, said Abimelech. Reside wherever you please. He said to Sarah, Look, I have given you, brother, 140 pounds of silver as compensation for all that has happened to you. In the eyes of all men, your honor is cleared. Then Abraham prayed to God, and God cured Abimelech and his wife and his concubines, so that they now bore children. For the Eternal had entirely closed the wombs of all Abimelech's household on account of Sarah, Abraham's wife. Okay. I'm going to stop here. You guys have a good one. Bye.